Have you ever stopped to think whether the rice on your plate might be quietly raising your blood sugar? It might sound hard to believe. After all, rice is such a staple, familiar, comforting, and found in meals all over the world. But what if I told you that the way we commonly cook and eat rice could be quietly working against your health, especially once you're past 60? Hi there. I'm really glad you're joining me today. This isn't a video about fear, it's about empowerment and real solutions. Because the truth is, there are easy research-backed ways to transform rice, yes, plain old rice, into a food that supports gut health, stabilizes blood sugar, and actually boosts well-being. No expensive gadgets, no miracle supplements, just simple tweaks to your daily habits. I'm Dr. Emily Reyes, and I've spent much of my career focused on the unique health needs of older adults. Over the years, I've seen so many people doing all the right things, taking their prescriptions, following doctor's orders, and still struggling with high blood sugar, digestive issues, and weight that won't budge. That's when it hit me. We often miss the little things that matter most, like how we cook our rice. That's why today I'm sharing 5 practical rice tips that could truly improve your health. They're straightforward, science-supported, and best of all, they blend right into the meals you're already preparing. Before we jump in, let me ask you, do you or someone in your family eat rice regularly? Have you ever felt sluggish or bloated after a meal and chalked it up to aging? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd really love to hear from you. And if you appreciate helpful, realistic tips like these, be sure to hit that subscribe button and become part of our Better Aging Daily community. All right, let's jump into the very first rice tip, one that can help your body get more nutrition with just a little bit of extra time. It's incredibly simple but surprisingly powerful. Soaking your rice. That's right. This basic step, often skipped without a second thought, can quietly change how your body responds to the rice on your plate. Now I get it. You might be thinking, I've rinsed and cooked rice for years without an issue, so why change now? But here's the surprising part. Rice that hasn't been soaked can actually make it harder for your body to take in the nutrients it really needs, especially as you get older. You see, rice, whether it's white or brown, naturally contains something called phytic acid. This compound hides in the outer layers of the grain, and although it's harmless in small amounts, it can act like a sneaky nutrient blocker. It binds to important minerals like calcium, iron, and zinc, making them harder for your body to absorb. And if you're over 60 and already facing things like thinning bones, low energy, or a weaker immune system, that missing nutrition really adds up. But here's the bright side. Soaking your rice the way many of our elders used to can reduce phytic acid and help your body make better use of the nutrients inside. And there's another big win. It can make your rice easier on the stomach. Plenty of older adults I've spoken with mention feeling bloated, gassy, or just overly full after eating rice. But once they began soaking their rice regularly, those uncomfortable symptoms eased up and meals felt lighter and more satisfying. So how do you do it correctly? First, rinse your rice well under cool running water. Then let it soak in warm water for 30 to 60 minutes before you cook it. That soaking time allows the grains to absorb moisture, soften up, and start breaking down compounds that are tough on digestion. Even if you're short on time, 30 minutes still makes a noticeable difference. Just be sure not to soak it too long. No more than 3 hours, especially in warm temperatures, since bacteria can develop and spoil the rice. There's one woman who stands out in my memory, 72 years old, full of life, always on the go, but dealing with a sensitive stomach for years. She decided to try one simple change, soaking her rice before cooking. Within just a few weeks, the discomfort she used to feel after meals started to fade away. She called it her little miracle. It's such a small shift. No medications, no expensive gadgets, just water, a bit of time, and the intention to care for your body. And the payoff? Smoother digestion, better nutrient absorption, and more steady energy after eating. Why not give it a try? If this is something you've already been doing, share your experience in the comments. And if it's new to you, what's been stopping you? Now, if you thought that tip was easy, just wait until you hear what a single spoonful of vinegar can do for your blood sugar. Let's talk about rice tip number 2. One of the most surprisingly effective changes you can make, adding a splash of vinegar. I know, it sounds strange at first. Vinegar in rice? You might be thinking, won't that mess with the flavor? But hear me out. Just 1 tablespoon of the right kind of vinegar can dramatically impact your digestion, stabilize your blood sugar, and even leave you feeling more energized after a meal. So what's the secret? Vinegar, especially raw apple cider vinegar, contains a powerful compound called acetic acid. This natural acid slows down how fast your body breaks down and absorbs carbohydrates, which means you avoid that sharp spike in blood sugar right after eating. That's especially valuable for those of us over 60 when the body becomes more sensitive to glucose swings. And if you're dealing with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this tip could be a real game changer. In fact, a prominent study from Johns Hopkins University discovered that adding vinegar to rice can lower its glycemic index by as much as 31%. That's not just a minor tweak, that's a major improvement, turning a potential blood sugar spike into something much more balanced. I remember a gentleman in his late 60s, pre-diabetic, worn out, and frustrated with how sluggish he felt after meals. He decided to try one change, adding a tablespoon of natural fermented vinegar to the water when cooking his rice. Within just a couple of months, his fasting blood sugar levels improved, and he began to feel lighter, more alert, and more in control of his health. So how can you do the same at home? It's easy. When you pour water into your rice pot or rice cooker, simply stir in 1 tablespoon of natural fermented vinegar, such as raw apple cider vinegar. That's it. And don't worry, the rice won't taste sour. In fact, many say it actually tastes a little cleaner and fresher. Just one important note, be sure to use natural fermented vinegar, not synthetic or flavored versions. The synthetic types lack the same health benefits and could even upset your stomach if you're sensitive. And if this is your first time trying it, or if your digestion tends to be delicate, start with just half a tablespoon and see how your body responds. This is one of those simple tips that's almost too easy to believe, but the effects can be powerful, especially over time. Best of all, it's not a drug. It's not about restriction. It's simply a gentle way to support your body naturally. And now let's turn to another tip that's just as unexpected. This one involves something you probably already have in your kitchen: oatmeal. When used in just the right amount with rice, it can work wonders for your heart health and blood sugar balance. You won't want to miss this one. Here's a smart little trick that most people have never even heard of: adding just a touch of dry oatmeal to your rice. Yes, oatmeal. You likely already know it's great for your heart, helps manage cholesterol, and supports healthy digestion. But here's what might surprise you. When you mix a small amount into your rice, it can significantly improve how your body handles sugar and even help cleanse your blood vessels over time. Here's how it works. Oatmeal contains beta-glucan, a special kind of soluble fiber. Once you eat it, beta-glucan acts like a soft sponge inside your gut. It moves along your digestive tract, absorbing excess cholesterol, slowing digestion, and keeping your blood sugar from spiking too fast after meals. For older adults, especially those dealing with high cholesterol, prediabetes, or blood pressure challenges, this kind of gentle support can make a huge difference. In fact, research from the National Institutes of Health revealed that mixing a small portion of oatmeal into rice can slow post-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 43%. That's a big deal. Not a minor change, but a major step toward better, more stable health. But the trick is getting the portion just right. You don't want to overdo it. That's why we call it the golden ratio. If you're preparing 1 cup of rice, roughly 150 grams, simply stir in 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of dry, plain oatmeal. That's about 5% to 7% of the rice's total weight. It's enough to work wonders without overwhelming your digestion. Why not add more? Well, even though oatmeal is healthy, too much in one meal, especially for older adults, can cause discomfort, including bloating or a heavy stomach. The key here is moderation. A gentle daily dose is all your body needs to enjoy the benefits. Just a little each day can help promote smoother digestion, lower cholesterol levels, and keep your energy steady after eating. It's a quiet but powerful upgrade to a common meal. I've watched this modest habit create real results. One woman in her mid-70s managing both high cholesterol and early diabetes, began adding a teaspoon of oatmeal to her rice each day. After 3 months, not only did her blood work improve, but she felt noticeably clearer, lighter, and more confident in her body. And one last thoughtful reminder. If you're dealing with kidney issues, it's always a good idea to speak with your doctor before increasing fiber or whole grain intake. Every body is different, and your plan should be tailored to you. And now that we've upgraded how your rice supports healthy blood sugar and cholesterol, let's talk about a golden spice that stood the test of time and might naturally boost your body's insulin response. Next up is a tiny golden addition with mighty benefits, turmeric. You've likely come across turmeric in recipes for curries or herbal teas. But what you may not know is that adding just a small amount of turmeric to your rice can actually help your body respond more efficiently to insulin and even lower inflammation throughout your system. The secret lies in turmeric's active ingredient, curcumin. It's been widely studied for its powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory effects. One of the most exciting findings? Curcumin's ability to enhance insulin sensitivity. In other words, it helps your body use insulin the way it's supposed to, like refining a dull key so it works smoothly again. As we grow older, many of us develop insulin resistance, meaning our bodies stop responding properly to insulin. That leads to rising blood sugar, fatigue, weight gain, and sometimes more serious health issues. But research from the National Institutes of Health found that taking curcumin consistently could reduce insulin resistance by 23%, a result similar to what you'd expect from some mild diabetes medications. And here's the beauty of it. It only takes a pinch. There was a woman in her late 60s who had been managing type 2 diabetes for years. After talking with her doctor, she decided to try something new, adding a small pinch of turmeric powder to her warm rice once a day. She didn't make any other changes to her diet, but within a few months, her blood sugar levels became more steady, and she was even able to reduce her medication. The joy on her face said it all. If you'd like to try this at home, it couldn't be easier. Once your rice is cooked and still warm, sprinkle in 1 or 2 small pinches of pure turmeric powder, then stir gently. That's it. The warmth helps activate the natural oils and aroma, and the flavor melts right into the rice. Go slow at first, especially if turmeric is new to you. You can always build up the amount gradually as your taste buds adjust. Just be sure you're using pure turmeric powder, not curry powder. Curry blends often include turmeric, but they also contain salt and other spices that may reduce the benefit or upset your stomach if used in larger amounts. And here's one more important note. If you have gallbladder issues or are taking specific medications, it's wise to talk with your doctor before adding turmeric regularly. Safety first. This is a small, golden habit with deep healing roots, one that links you to generations of traditional wellness. Now, as we head into our final rice tip, get ready for something even more unexpected, a method that boosts gut health without adding a single ingredient. It's all about how you cool and reheat your rice for maximum benefit. One of the most surprising yet incredibly powerful rice habits is this: cooling and reheating your rice. That's it. No fancy ingredient, no supplement needed. Just cook your rice, let it cool, and then warm it up gently before eating. It sounds simple, and it is, but the science behind it is absolutely fascinating. Here's what actually happens. When rice is cooked and then cooled, the starch inside it undergoes a transformation. It turns into something called resistant starch. Unlike regular starch, which digests quickly and raises your blood sugar, resistant starch isn't absorbed in the small intestine. Instead, it moves on to the large intestine, where it feeds the healthy bacteria in your gut. The result? Smoother digestion, less inflammation, and a stronger immune system. It's like treating your gut to a soothing internal massage every time you eat. And that's not all. Resistant starch can also help prevent blood sugar spikes after meals, promote regular bowel movements, and improve your body's insulin sensitivity. For older adults, especially those dealing with blood sugar swings, digestive issues, or irregularity, this simple adjustment can offer real, lasting comfort. I remember working with a man in his early 70s who struggled for years with constipation and irritable digestion. He had tried medications, but nothing truly worked. until he began cooling his rice after cooking and reheating it before eating. Within weeks, his digestion improved, his symptoms eased, and he finally felt relief. So how do you do it? After you finish cooking your rice, simply leave the lid off and let it rest at room temperature for 30 minutes to an hour. You can eat it then and there, or for even better results, store it in the refrigerator and reheat it gently later that same day or the next. When you warm it up, just heat it until it's hot but not overcooked. Be cautious not to leave it sitting out too long, especially in warm conditions, since rice can quickly grow harmful bacteria. So if you're not planning to eat it right away, be sure to cool and refrigerate it promptly and enjoy it within 1 to 2 days. It's such a small shift in routine, but the payoff can be big. Healthier digestion, better blood sugar management, and a sense of balance that many older adults are truly seeking. Just think about that. With a bit of intention and timing, something as ordinary as rice can become one of the most healing foods on your plate. Now that we've walked through all 5 of these gentle yet powerful rice upgrades, let's take a moment to step back and see the bigger picture. Because while each tip on its own is easy, the real magic comes in how they work together, bite by bite, meal by meal. These 5 rice habits might seem simple, but they carry real strength. Soaking your rice, adding a splash of vinegar, mixing in a touch of oatmeal, sprinkling turmeric, and cooling before reheating. Each one supports your body's energy, digestion, and long-term health in its own quiet but meaningful way. And here's the honest truth. It's never too late to start making changes. You don't need to do it all at once. Just pick one habit, whichever feels most doable for you, and see how your body responds. Often, it's the smallest steps that lead to the biggest transformations. I've watched these simple tips make a real difference for so many older adults, helping them feel better, move more freely, and regain a sense of control over their meals and well-being. You absolutely deserve that same opportunity. If this video gave you something helpful or sparked a new idea, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps support what we do. And if you'd like to keep learning and growing with us, hit subscribe and become part of the Better Aging Daily community. We're here with down-to-earth, science-backed tips that actually work for your life. Have any of these rice habits caught you by surprise? Or maybe you've already tried one and have a story to share? I'd love to hear about it. Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments below. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. You're doing great. You've got this.